I think Blake Lively, at this point, is sorry that she ever started the whole thing.
Yeah, she said it looked like Blake Lively was falling for Justin Baldoni. It would only make her suffer more, or her image.
Blake Lively has entered an unprecedented state of upheaval following the startling testimony delivered by psychiatrist Dr. Carol Lieberman.
And I think this psychiatrist who's interviewed here is really spot on.
On June 7th, within the tense atmosphere of pre-trial discovery proceedings, Lieberman meticulously unraveled Blake's conduct.
So this person is a psychiatrist and an author. Her name is Dr. Carol Lieberman. She works as an expert witness in court cases, meaning that when they need an expert in psychiatry, they would call her and she would analyze the situation. And she was interviewed by Sky News Australia to talk about how Blake Lively, when she dismissed her emotional distress claims against Justin Baldoni, and what her thoughts were around this.
Exposing revelations that reverberated powerfully throughout the courtroom. What initially appeared as an ordinary legal dispute quickly transformed into an intense, multifaceted drama that captivated everyone present.
She said it looked like Blake Lively was falling for Justin Baldoni.
And she was very uncomfortable with that possibility because, of course, she's married. And that made her all very uncomfortable. And so at the end, she just decided to blame him for harassment rather than facing and acknowledging her own feelings.
During her expert testimony, Dr. Carol Lieberman, a respected psychiatrist renowned for her insights into emotional complexities, proposed a theory with profound implications. Blake Lively may have cultivated romantic feelings for her co-star Justin Baldoni throughout the filming of the motion picture It Ends With Us.
And now I'm kind of starting to believe that as well, because the way she has behaved around this, it doesn't really make any sense unless there were real feelings there.
This unexpected claim shifted the narrative from straightforward harassment accusations into a tangled web of intricate interpersonal dynamics, suppressed desires, and blurred boundaries that extended beyond the professional realm. The courtroom, saturated with eager reporters, seasoned attorneys, and onlookers drawn by the escalating spectacle, buzzed with murmurs of disbelief and intrigue.
And really what I think happened is that she got into her character, and I think she was starting to fall for him.
Lieberman's observations cast new light upon the case, illustrating Blake not simply as a plaintiff alleging wrongdoing, but as a woman wrestling with deep, unspoken emotions muddled by the pressures of fame and commitment. Dr. Lieberman, whose expertise is frequently solicited as a court-appointed specialist, provided a detailed psychological portrait.
And really what I think happened is that she got into her character tremendously, like good actors are supposed to do. And I think she was starting to fall for him.
Why would you want to punish someone so badly for just smelling your hair or for saying something that you felt was uncomfortable? Why would you go to this length to destroy someone's life?
She described an actress so deeply engrossed in her character that the distinctions between her scripted role and actual feelings became obscured, leading to emotional confusion. According to Lieberman, these feelings may have escalated beyond mere admiration or friendship, suggesting a genuine emotional attachment.
Another thing that Dr. Lieberman pointed out here, which I also think at this point is bound to happen, is if Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively's relationship can survive this.
One laden with tension and conflict, given Blake's marriage to Hollywood star Ryan Reynolds. Caught in this emotional maelstrom, Blake reportedly experienced a surge of anxiety and panic, typical for a high-profile individual confronting such forbidden sentiments.
And she didn't want the public, obviously, to see what her mental health records were. She wasn't really thinking logically about all these kinds of details.
The weight of societal judgment, personal guilt, and the expectations tethered to her well-known union likely compelled her to suppress her affections rather than confront them openly. Lieberman illustrated this struggle by highlighting Blake's decision to redirect and frame her emotional turmoil through allegations of harassment, a move perceived as a psychological defense mechanism rather than an unequivocal legal grievance.
I was blocked by Ryan Reynolds. Yes. Predator Pool himself blocked me. I don't know when he blocked me. I don't know if it's when I exposed on X what happened with his daughter in Deadpool and that abhorrent things that they made her do. It's just disgusting.
Further analysis explored Blake's nonverbal communication, the prolonged eye contact, subtle physical gestures, and moments of vulnerability captured in behind-the-scenes footage that seemed to transcend professional courtesy. Lieberman posited that these nuanced behaviors reflected underlying desires, adding depth to the already complex scenario.
7 Wayfair parties are well below the ceiling of the small group exception, and Reynolds defamed all of them.
Blake Lively has ruined Justin Baldoni's legacy.
Such details suggested that the lawsuit itself might be less about addressing indiscretions and more about managing internal conflicts and protecting existing personal relationships, particularly the fragile equilibrium of Blake and Ryan Reynolds' marriage. The implications extend beyond legal arguments.
And now, things are not looking good for her. And I wonder if her husband, how much longer he's going to stay supporting her, because this has just really blown up.
Lieberman openly questioned if the lawsuit was intended less as a shield against improper conduct and more as an effort to mask emotional realities too difficult to face publicly. The suggestion that Blake's legal actions could be interpreted as a subconscious plea for help resonated ominously with those observing the proceedings. Questions about the resilience of her marital bond have intensified, especially given reports of Ryan Reynolds' increasingly visible involvement, both professionally and privately.
As many people were saying before that he was the mastermind behind all of this, I don't really think he was. I think he was supporting Blake, and I think they have the same ideas about a lot of things and that they wanted to take over the movie.
Insiders reveal that Ryan's role extended past that of a supportive spouse, bordering on vigilant oversight during the production process. Witnesses described his presence as protective, sometimes perceived as controlling, particularly when Blake and Justin shared screen time or interacted casually.
And as some people have speculated before, maybe Ryan Reynolds had the feeling that there was something going on between them, or he felt that Blake Lively was attracted to Justin. Yeah, she's saying, for how much longer can Ryan Reynolds support his wife in this?
Fails to mention Blake at the summit as he swerves these questions about the negative headlines.
The tension was palpable, as if Ryan was battling to contain a brewing storm beneath the surface. A dynamic not confined to the workplace, but permeating their domestic life. Rumours of fiery disputes and mounting mistrust within the Reynolds residence have surfaced, painting a portrait of a couple grappling with the fallout of a highly publicised and emotionally charged affair.
But let's hear his response.
No, it's like Tina Fey says, if you're feeling good about yourself, just go online.
I mean, that's true, but of course he has to position himself right away as the victim.
Ryan's behaviour, described in some quarters as both an act of desperate love and a manifestation of jealousy, prompts debate about the balance between care and control. This volatile atmosphere undoubtedly adds strain to Blake's already precarious career and reputation. Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni has categorically denied all allegations, mounting a formidable legal defense.
Having a good time. Look how much fun they are having at the red carpet event, because, that's what couples who are suffering with traumatic, crippling fear and harassment do, is they go out and smile for cameras and act like there's nothing happening,
His team has presented extensive evidence, including detailed footage and communication records, intent on demonstrating consistency and professionalism in his conduct. Baldoni's countersuit, claiming $400 million in defamation damages against Blake and Ryan.
I didn't become part. My career was an aggregate. It was very slow, so I didn't have that overnight success.
Represents a bold countermove that has ignited media frenzy and further polarized public opinion. Baldoni's calm, resolute public statements emphasize his pursuit of truth and accountability, underscoring the immense toll this protracted dispute has taken on his personal and professional life. His plea for clarity contrasts sharply with the surrounding chaos and highlights the very human consequences behind the legal filings.
Blake cannot claim to be a victim of sexual misconduct on the set of a movie while she openly brags about the unscripted sexual misconduct that she partakes in when she's on the sets of movies. That's exactly what she's done.
Gotta keep her grounded.
No, yeah, absolutely. I've seen her go into a rage spiral. Oh my God. And most people's violence with her, it's just baking.
The unfolding saga also shines a spotlight on Blake Lively's history of complex on-set relationships, lending context to current events. From previous collaborations with stars such as Ben Affleck and Taylor Kitsch, popular gossip columns have long chronicled whispers of emotional entanglements, swirling rumors, and intense connections.
He's in cream colors and all the men are wearing like white and cream, and then you get to New York and it's a little bit more browns and moodier, and Susie really told such a story
amazing.
Alongside Vittorio, because it is a lot brighter and sunnier in LA. And
these patterns fuel speculation that Blake's attraction to co-stars may be less incidental and more a recurring theme that colourfully shapes her career and personal narrative. Beyond the interpersonal drama, this legal battle threatens Blake's standing in the entertainment industry. Hollywood's unforgiving nature means that any public scandal, especially one involving allegations of misconduct, can quickly eclipse talent and accomplishments.
That's what I'm saying. His wardrobe was beautiful.
I know,
Corey's wardrobe was gorgeous. Those high-waisted pants.
He's so great.
I wish men wore high-waisted pants like that still.
Record everything. So this is the reason why she didn't think the scene was recorded, or she didn't think that it was on, like they were catching the audio, and they have it, okay?
What's going on here? What does he say? Why is he suing them?
What a manipulative, lying little twerp she is. I cannot stand her for this.
The courtroom fracas casts a looming shadow over her future prospects, with casting directors and studios wary of potential complications. The increasing media scrutiny also places Ryan Reynolds in a challenging position, asking whether his involvement serves as a protective pillar or if it inadvertently intensifies tensions. Their marriage, once a symbol of Hollywood's glamorous unions, now endures a trial by fire that tests their resilience and ability to withstand public and private pressures.
This is the latest filing. This is in response to Ryan's very petty and sassy response that it felt like he clearly wrote, since it had pop culture references, which Kim and I noticed. Burn Book mentions. Like, come on, Ryan. That's clearly.
You know, when Mean Girls comes into the filing, it's legit.
And Ryan held on to this for years. And her career has always been bigger, has always been greater. She's the highest paid actress in Hollywood, Scarlett Johansson. And I think
we disagree. Here's why. But worst case scenario, if we lose, we are allowed legally to go make an amendment, and we should at least be doing that.
Multiple possible outcomes lie ahead. A confidential settlement that allows for private resolution, an emotionally charged divorce spectacle capturing tabloid headlines, or a prolonged high-stakes legal battle draining all parties involved.
I felt like it was very aggressive, I agree, and I can't fault somebody for wanting to stick up for their partner, but there were parts of it as I was reading it, I couldn't help but feel like it was a bit petty.
Each path carries its own consequences, defining not only the immediate present, but casting long shadows over future reputations and relationships. In sum, this case transcends simple legal disputes. It delves into the shadowy intersection of personal turmoil, romantic complexity, and public scrutiny. A psychological war played out on a very public stage.
The way that he has painted this does not really help the case when it comes to defamation. It's a very interesting argument. I will be very interested to see how the judge rules on.
The high-profile actors involved must navigate shattered trust, media frenzy, and file motions while confronting their own emotional vulnerabilities. As this courtroom drama continues to unfold, expect more revelations, emotional confrontations, and unexpected twists akin to an Oscar-winning narrative.
I did a film with an absolute idiot of a co-star, and this human being was being so insecure and angry because this person couldn't get the scenes out. And I think I was so vulnerable and uncomfortable.
Following her decision to officially file for divorce from the Deadpool Wolverine star, announcing their separation, she addressed her heartbreak in an exclusive statement in this Daily Mail article.
The story of Blake, Justin, and Ryan remains a tense, riveting chapter in the ongoing saga of fame's double-edged sword. Stay tuned for further insights and breaking updates as the layers of this extraordinary Hollywood saga are peeled back.